Hey guys, SpinoDude here and welcome back to another video. Today guys, we're going to be taking a look at the final Recur toy that the company sent over to us. So without further ado, why don't we have our co-host Marvin bring it out. Thank you, Marvin. Alright, so today guys, we're going to be taking a look at this. It is the Recur 2017 Ankylosaurus. If you've been staying tuned to the channel, you'll remember that Recur sent us over a box of 4 of their figurines. We've reviewed the other 3 on the channel, and this is the final toy that they sent over to us. I'm looking forward to taking a closer look at this toy, so without further ado, why don't we jump straight into the review. Before we take a closer look at the figure, here are a few quick facts about Ankylosaurus itself. Ankylosaurus magniventris means fused lizard. It was a species of ankylosaurid from the Cretaceous period of what is now North America. Ankylosaurus is without doubt the most famous of the armored dinosaurs, estimated at around 20 feet long and armed with a powerful club tail. The top side of its body was covered with rows of protective osteoderms, with even its eyelids being armored. Studies on the skull material of Ankylosaurus suggest the animal had a good sense of smell, which would have assisted it in detecting approaching predators, such as Tyrannosaurus rex. So without further ado guys, let's start taking a closer look at this awesome armored herbivore. Alrighty guys, so here is the 2017 Recur Ankylosaurus. And for first impressions, I really like the dynamic pose they've gone for, and obviously just first impressions on the design itself. This is obviously heavily inspired off of the Jurassic World Ankylosaurus, but it has some really nice details for being a toy that's intended for a younger audience. You've got some really nice skin texturing and wrinkles and folds in the skin throughout the lower body here, as you can see. And then for the armor plating on the top, you can see we have these larger scutes and osteoderms, and then a nice texture in between all of the plates running down the back of the animal and all the way down the tail. Now the big inaccuracy with the armor plating on this Ankylosaurus toy here is that Ankylosaurus did not have these large Gastonia-like spikes running down the sides of its body. Those would not have been present, and a few of these osteoderms running along the top side would have been slightly larger. Here's a closer look at the front limbs. You can see that they sport 5 digits on each foot, and the hind limbs sport 3 digits on each foot, as you can see. Now if I remember correctly, Ankylosaurus should have 4 digits on each of its back feet. This toy does have a dew claw on each of the hind feet, but I don't remember if Ankylosaurus actually had dew claws. I don't think so. I'll have to check on that. The tail has a nice curve to it overall, and the club on the end of its tail is really nicely detailed. Now if you're unfamiliar with Recur toys, basically they're designed for children to play with safely other than for collectors to collect. So they're made out of a very soft material, as you can see, so they're very bendy. So you don't need to worry about your children poking themselves on the spikes or anything, or any of the sharp points. It's all very soft and very bendable as well. Like you can even swing the tail here to make it look like it's going to swing its tail at a potential predator or something. And you can sort of make it look like the Ankylosaurus is closing its mouth there as well. Here's a closer look at the head on this Ankylosaurus toy. And the detail is really nice and everything, but it's not the correct shape for an Ankylosaurus head. Also, this mouth is incredibly big. That is a huge mouth there. But you can see the eye is done in a red color with a black pupil, and there's a dot of white paint in the center of the pupil there to give it a natural reflective look. The interior of the huge mouth has been sculpted out and painted in a fleshy pink color. Even the tongue is sticking out there, as you can see. And you can see the nostrils carved out on the front of the snout there, as well as the armor plating running down the top of the head, which I actually really like that pattern that they've gone for on the top of the head. Now the color on this Ankylosaurus toy is fairly straightforward. It's very similar to the Jurassic World Ankylosaurus. It's basically just a tan underbelly with gray armor plating on the top, and then you have these spikes on the side, and the osteoderms running down the back are all tipped with a cream color. The pose is something that I'm actually very fond of on this figure. It's incredibly active, and it looks really nice on display. It looks like this Ankylosaurus is trying to maybe turn itself around quickly with the way the tail is swinging off to the side here, or perhaps it's just trying to sprint away as fast as it can from a predator. but this can really make for some awesome action scenarios when children are playing with this toy, and it also might make for some really nice dioramas as well. I actually think though that the front right limb here on the Ankylosaurus is a little bit warped on my figure. It should be up a little bit more like this, but it still looks fine down the way it is like that. Alright, so why don't we do a quick measurement of this figure? So Marvin, why don't you bring out the ruler? Thank you, Marvin. Alright, we've got our trusty flexi ruler now, so let's give this Ankylosaurus a measure. So in terms of the length from the tip of the club tail all the way to the tip of the head, we are looking at about 9 inches, which is about 23 centimeters. And in terms of the highest point, which is the animal's back here, we are looking at about 3 inches, which is about 9-10 centimeters. For comparison, I thought I'd bring out my personal favorite from the batch of toys that Recur sent over to us, which is their Dinosaur. I think these toys look pretty nice next to each other. It almost looks like this Ankylosaurus is trying to sprint away, maybe as the Dinosaur is attacking it from a lake or something. Yeah, but I definitely think that these toys will be great for little kids with their great details. Alright, it's time for my overall rating on this figure, and I think that this 2017 Recur Ankylosaurus deserves 3 stars out of 5. A good rating. Now, this toy does have its inaccuracies, and I would like to make a suggestion to Recur because they are marketing these toys as educational for children. If you just researched the animal that you're trying to replicate just a little bit more, I think you can make a really nice and accurate representation of the animal. For this Ankylosaurus, the armor plating is definitely off compared to the actual armor plating the animal had, and the head shape is definitely off compared to the actual skull of Ankylosaurus. I do like the great details though. I'm really surprised at the awesome details that they've packed into these toys, and that was definitely what's going to appeal to children. The pose is also very nice as well. It's super dynamic, and I've never seen an Ankylosaurus figure or toy portrayed in this pose. So overall, I think this toy is pretty good. It has its inaccuracies though, and like I said, that's my suggestion to Recur, just to research the animal they're trying to replicate just a tiny bit more. Well, there we go guys, that was today's look at the 2017 Recur Ankylosaurus. Overall, I think this toy is pretty nice, although it does have some issues with accuracy, but it will definitely appeal to a younger audience. If you guys want to get one of these for yourself, I'm going to put a link down below in the description to Recur's website where you can order one. So anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Also leave a comment telling me what you think of this Ankylosaurus toy. So thank you so much guys for watching, and as always, I will see you in my next video. Take care, and bye-bye.